Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your first time here. In today's video I'll be sharing with us how to sew a maxi half circle skirt. I'm going to be taking us through the cutting process and also through the sewing process. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in learning, keep on watching, and please don't forget to give this video a like so that more people can get to see it. Subscribe to this channel if you're not yet subscribed. Drop your questions and suggestions in the comment section, and let us head straight into this tutorial. For this project, you'll be needing just two measurements. You'll be needing your round waist measurement and your desired skirt length. Now, because this is a circle skirt that we are trying to recreate here, we will need to do some calculations, and the reason why we need to do this calculation is because it is a circle skirt. It's not like your regular pencil skirts where you just fold your fabric into two and cut for the front and also cut for the back. For this one, we'll be needing to layer our fabric in such a way that it looks like a triangle. So I'm going to explain to us the calculations we need to do, and it will make more sense when we are trying to cut this skirt out. Now, to get our waist circumference, what we need to do is find the radius, and the radius for a full circle dress is usually 6.28 inches. That is the radius, that is the standard radius for a full circle skirt. But because we are making a half circle skirt, we are going to be dividing that by 2. So 6.28 inches divided by 2 will give us 3.14 inches. So what I'm going to do is I am going to divide my waist circumference, which is 28 inches, by 3.14 inches. Because I'm working with a waist of 28 inches, I'm going to be dividing that 28 inches by 3.14, and I have a total of 8.917. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to approximate everything to 9 inches. Okay, if you notice, I just divided my waist measurement. I will not be adding any form of seam allowance because by the time we finish cutting this out, it is going to stretch out and we'll have excesses. So that excesses we'll be using it for our zipper allowance. So now that I have 9 inches for my radius, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding the length of my skirt to that 9 inches. Okay, so 9 plus the length of my skirt, my desired skirt length is 44 inches. That will give us 53 inches. From these 53 inches, I am going to be subtracting 1.5 inches for my band, and that will leave us with 51.5 inches. That's 51.5 inches. And to this 51.5 inches, I'm going to be adding half inch allowance to join the band to the skirt, and that will give us a total of 52 inches. So this 52 inches will serve as a guide for us to know the amount of fabric to fold over so that we don't waste too much fabric while we are trying to create this skirt. Alright guys, so I have my fabric laid out here on the floor. This part of my fabric is not on fold, and this part of my fabric right here is folded. So now if I take my measuring tape and measure what I have here out, you see that I have about 52 inches, which is exactly what we had from our calculation. And around here we have 60 inches because this material is by 60 inches. So what I'm going to do is try to align this my fabric and arrange it to form a triangle. I want it to look triangular by the time I am done arranging it. So watch carefully so that you see how I arranged this. After arranging my fabric into a triangle, you can see that right here I have a folded edge, while this other part is not folded, like two separate pieces and one folded edge. I hope this is clear enough for us. Okay, I have my triangle. So the next thing I am going to do is come to the top of this my triangle here, and that is where I'm going to start marking my radius from. Remember that our radius is 9 inches, so I'm going to go ahead and mark 9 inches all around, placing my tape at the tip of this triangle that we formed. Okay, I'll mark my 99 inches all around, and next I will use my chalk to connect this in order to make it more visible. Now that I am done connecting this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to impute the full length of this my skirt, and if you watch carefully you can see that I placed my 1.5 inch mark from this our radius that we just marked. Okay, so that 1.5 inch mark that I placed there is for my waistband, and I'm going to go ahead and I'll start marking the full length of this my skirt. So I'm just going to be aligning my tape, making sure that my tape is on that my radius that I marked, and I am going to go ahead and keep marking my full length. And after marking this, I'm just going to use my chalk to connect these points. After making all the connecting all the dots, this is what I have. I just decided to give you guys a close-up so that you see what it is looking like, because it is looking a little bit faint. Okay, so this is what we have. You can see the radius here. So the next thing I'm going to do is grab my scissors and I will cut this out. After cutting it out and opening it up, this is what we have, guys. This is what it looks like. So the next thing I'm going to do is take this to my table and I'll introduce the waistband to you. Okay, so this is my waistband, you guys. I've already gone ahead to iron it in. Opening this up, you can see that I added some light interfacing, and the length of this is 4.5 inches. So what I did is I folded it in once and I folded it in by 1.5 inches, which is the length of this my band, and this remaining ½ inch that you can see here is my allowance to actually attach it to the skirt. So now the next thing I'm going to do is open up this my skirt, and I am going to place this my waistband onto my skirt. I am going to be placing it on the wrong part of my skirt, and what I'll do is I'll take this to my sewing machine and I'll stitch it down by that ½ inch. And after stitching it down by that ½ inch, you guys, this is what I have. Okay, so flipping it to the right side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using my waistband to cover up these raw edges. Okay, so I'm going to fold in the raw edges, that is that ½ inch that I stitched it in by, and I'm going to be using my waistband to cover it. So what I'll do is I'll take it to the sewing machine and use a top stitch. I'm going to run a top stitch on it and use it to finish up this my waistband. And as you can see, our waistband is looking very nice and clean now that we are done top stitching. So I'm going to fold this into two now and we'll close it up at the side. Okay, so before I close this up, what I'm going to do is I'll bring my tape and I'm going to mark 7 inches down, and this is where my zipper is going to sit. So the next thing I'm going to do is bring my pins and I'll pin this entire thing down. And after pinning it down, what I'll do is I'll take it to my sewing machine and I'll stitch it down by 1 inch. Okay, I'll stitch it down and stop at this allowance that I left. And after doing that, the next thing I did was just to attach my zipper and hem this my skirt. Now when it comes to hemming your circle skirt, it can be very tedious because it is not straight. It is going to stress you out. So if you're a beginner, or maybe you're not a beginner and you don't want to be stressed out, one of the things you can do is actually take this to your weaving machine and make sure there's what we call ready-made weaving. You set your machine to be able to weave it in a ready-made manner, or if you're weaving outside, if you're taking it to a weaving shop, tell them to do a ready-made weaving for you. You can also use a bias tape to finish it up or go through the hassle or folding it in twice like I did. So my people, at this juncture we have come to the end of this tutorial. As you can see, this thing is very simple. It won't even cost you much time. You can do this under 30 minutes to 1 hour. You will have your own circle skirts that you can rock anyhow you'd like. So guys, if you found this video helpful in any way, go ahead and leave a like for me. Subscribe to this family if you're not yet subscribed. Drop your questions and your suggestions in the comment section, and turn on your post notification bell so that you'll be updated whenever I update new videos. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.